Hello everyone and welcome to a new reading vlog. I am about to head off in a minute, so this intro clip is going to be a very short one. Adriana and I are going to take a load of stuff to the recycling centre. We are also going to take some clothes to the clothes bank, and I think we're going to head off to Dunelm as well, and possibly Aldi to do a little food shop. Essentially guys, for those of you who don't know, I'm currently in the process of moving house. We're not moving in quite yet, but the stuff that I can move, I have been trying to move over there, and I have also been clearing out some stuff because there's no way I'm taking all of this stuff with me to the new house. I'm a bit of a hoarder, and yeah, I have started going through my things and I want to either take them to a charity shop, which I've done. I've taken about 3 or 4 bin bags to the charity shop already, which is great. I've taken 2 bags of clothes the other week. I'm taking another 2 bags of clothes to the clothes bank today, and I think it's going to be nice that Adriana's kind of doing the same thing, so it's going to be a really weird but hopefully good morning. So I am just waiting on her now to tell me that she's ready to go. Anyway, moving on to my reading plans, because this is of course another weekend reading vlog. I've once again decided to completely go off my TBR and to read something that I wasn't even considering reading until last night. You will have already seen from the thumbnail what the book is, but that one is of course Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I kid you not, you guys, I have seen this book around everywhere this week. So many booktubers are reading it, so many people on Instagram are posting about it, and I'm just seeing the best reviews, so you know I had to jump on that hype. I have been loving my fantasy romance this year, and with the amount of hype that this is getting, I feel like it's one that I need to dive into as soon as possible. So that is what I plan on doing. I have downloaded it onto my Kindle, so it's going to be an even better reading experience. I have to say guys, I have been loving reading on my Kindle lately, and it's made me not want to pick up physical books. Like, I really have been struggling to pick up books physically lately. I just find the Kindle to be so easy. It's so light as well. I can kind of sit however I want to because it's not a faff to try and open the pages, and I feel like I read a lot faster when I actually read on my Kindle as well. So I'm really glad to have found it on Kindle Unlimited. I feel like because it's blown up so much, it's probably going to get some sort of special edition soon anyway, so if I do love it, I can purchase myself a physical copy. But yeah, I'm kind of diving in without any real expectations. I haven't even looked at what this book is about, to be honest with you guys. All I know is that it's a fantasy romance featuring Fae, and I believe that our main character somehow opens a portal between her world and the Fae world, and she gets sucked into something that is way bigger than her, but unfortunately she's the one to have opened the portal, and because of that she is now stuck with the Fae. That's all I know. That may be the worst synopsis ever. I will of course give you a better one once I'm further into this book. But yeah, that is going to be what I focus on this weekend in terms of reading. Other than going with Adriana this morning, I'm not sure if I'm going to have any other plans today. I will have to take Kiwi for a walk at some point. I may even take her with Adriana later on as well, because she has 2 dogs and Kiwi and Flint are best friends. Mushu is not the biggest fan of both of them, but he tolerates it and he also comes for the walk. But that may also be in the cards, to be honest with you guys. I think we're just going to have a really nice day. Tom and Sean have gone to the gym, I think, this morning, and I think that they're planning on spending the day together anyway, so yeah, I think it's just going to be a nice chill day, getting stuff done, hopefully starting my book, and I will update you guys once I'm a little bit further in. Good morning everyone. Yes, I've said good morning. It is now the next day. I did want to update you guys yesterday, but honestly I wasn't feeling too great, and I actually found this book a little bit difficult to get through, but I have now gotten 50% through this book. I don't know if that will want to focus. There you go. Hopefully there aren't any spoilers, but you can see that I have made it 50% of the way through, which means that I am of course halfway. Now I will say it has taken me a lot longer to get through this book than I thought it would, and I don't really know why, because I do enjoy the story. I think it's been very interesting, and I have been wanting to carry on and find out what is actually going to happen, but every chance I get I put the book down and I just haven't been wanting to sit down and read it. Now I will just give you the synopsis, because the way it's told on Goodreads is a lot better than anything I could ever tell you. So it says, do not touch the sword, do not turn the key, do not open the gate. In the land of the unforgiving desert, there isn't much a girl wouldn't do for a glass of water. 24-year-old Sarah's Fane is good at keeping secrets. No one knows about the strange powers she possesses, or the fact that she's been picking pockets and stealing from the undying queen's reservoirs for as long as she can remember. But a secret is like a knot. Sooner or later, it's bound to come undone. When Saris comes face to face with death himself, she inadvertently reopens a gateway between realms and is transported to a land of ice and snow. The Fae have always been the stuff of myth. of legend, of nightmares. But it turns out they're real, and Cerys has landed herself right in the middle of a centuries-long conflict that might just get her killed. The first of her kind to tread the frozen mountains of Ivelia in over 1,000 years, Cerys mistakenly binds herself to Kingfisher, a handsome Fey warrior who has secrets and nefarious agendas of his own. He will use her alchemist's magics to protect his people, no matter what it costs him or her. Death has a name. It's Kingfisher of the Asian Gate. His past is murky, his attitude stinks, and he's the only way Cerys is going to make it home. Be careful of the deals you make, dear child. The devil is in the details. And then it does just say here, Quicksilver contains depictions of graphic violence / adult situations and is therefore recommended for readers 17+. So that is good information to have. I haven't really seen anything at the minute that would warrant it to be 17+, and I'm 50% of the way through the book. Yes, there have been a few kind of graphic scenes, but nothing to that extent. I will say, I feel like my main issue with this book at the minute is the pacing and the world building. I feel like, yes, we're thrown into the story, which is great, and it is pretty fast from the get-go. However, I feel like we are just getting so much information dumped on us about the world and the people and everything that's going on at the minute in this situation, and it doesn't quite feel like it flows. I feel like it's quite jarring. I feel like maybe that is why I'm struggling to get into this book, is because I feel like it's quite info dumpy and you do have to trudge through a lot of information that I personally feel like could have been told in a different way. As well as that, I feel like the relationship isn't really making a lot of sense to me at the minute. I feel like it's moved very quickly, and actually I kind of hate the male main character at the minute. He is a really horrible person. Yes, he's probably dealing with a lot of trauma and stuff, but we haven't seen that yet, and his actions so far haven't been justified. The way he is towards people and the fact that he tricks our female main character into making a blood oath with him, and he then uses that to his advantage and orders her around, is actually pretty horrible. Like, he has taken away her consent. The fact that she's a human is another thing that he doesn't really like, because he detests humans, which again may be well-founded, but we haven't seen any reason why yet, and we're halfway through the book. So I'm really not vibing with our male main character. I feel like he could have gone about things in a different way. I feel like either you need to make him unbearable so that we hate him and our main character hates him, or you need to give him some redeeming qualities. And whilst we've seen like the slightest hint of emotion at some points throughout this book, I don't feel like that cancels out the way he's been throughout the rest of it, and I just feel like I don't know how the relationship is going to progress. And at this point in time, I feel like it's a bit unbelievable and is a bit forced just so that it can be considered a fantasy romance book. Other than that though, I will say I am really enjoying it. I feel like it sounds very negative. It's not, I promise. It's just the negatives at the minute are what is stopping me from carrying on with the book, because I've really been enjoying it. I have just struggled to actually sit down and make myself read it and fly through the book as quickly as I thought I would. But the world is really interesting. I love the contrast between the human world and the Fey world. The human world is pretty impoverished and it's a horrible place to live, whereas the Fey world is everything you'd expect. It is luxurious, it is very, I don't want to say glamorous, but that's the kind of vibe I'm getting. I think it's just very magical. In the courts that we are in currently, it's in a world where they have snow constantly, so I feel like that is a really nice atmosphere to have in this book, and again is a contrast between the desert setting that we have in the human world. I will say we have a fox in here called Onyx, who I absolutely love. I feel like he is definitely a character that has kept me wanting to read this book because I just love him so much. I think he is adorable, and if anything happens to him I will riot, I swear to God. Ren is also a character that I think is quite interesting and I would like to learn more about him, so hopefully we can find out more in the second half of this book. As well as the female Fae, I honestly can't remember her name for the life of me right now, so I do apologise, but she's very interesting as well, and her views are different to that of the Fae in general. She seems to have a soft spot for Cerys and she has helped her quite a few times. As well as that, she also has a complicated relationship with Fisher, and I am intrigued to see how that kind of plays out. Of course I'm not going to go into spoilers, but yeah, their dynamic is really interesting, and the fact that even though this Fae world seems ideal, it is also ruled by a tyrant as well. We have seen the king of this realm here, and let me just say he's not the best. So that is currently where I'm up to in this book. Those are my feelings. I will try and read some more later, but I am actually heading off right now. I'm going paddle boarding with Adriana. I am very lucky to live near a lake, and in the summer when it's hot we do tend to head on over there and just go for a paddle, have a swim if we want to. I'm not going to take Kiwi with me because she's still recovering from her operation, so unfortunately she's gonna have to stay here, but honestly it's too hot for her to be outside anyway. It is a scorcher of a day today. It's not necessarily sunny, but it's very, very hot, so we're gonna head off. Hopefully it's not too busy. We as locals know some spots that are less touristy, so we can normally get away with heading off when it's a little bit later and possibly a little bit busier in other areas. I'm also going to take a picnic with me because we've decided that we're going to paddle over to another part of the lake where we can sit down, have some food, and yeah, just make our way around the rest of it afterwards. So that is the plan for today. Hopefully we are going to have a really good time. We haven't actually been paddle boarding for, I want to say like a year and a half, 2 years, which is insane, but we are trying to prioritize it again. It's such a fun thing to do. It's free, of course. We have the gear now, and when it's sunny there's nothing better than being out on the lake. So that is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get changed. I'm gonna get changed into my swimming costume, but I didn't want to film in my costume, of course, because that would have been a bit weird. I have taken Kiwi for a walk this morning as well, so she should be completely fine. She'll probably sleep until I get back, but Tom is also going to be with her, so she is going to have some company, which will be nice. But I'm going to end this clip here because I feel like I've been talking for a while. I also feel like I've been rambling on, so I do apologise, but those are my initial thoughts on Quicksilver. I'm enjoying it. It's not the fast-paced book that I thought it was going to be, and it does take a lot of brain power to concentrate on this story so far because of the info dumping, and also the relationship between the characters isn't my favourite at the minute. It's quite unbelievable, and I'm not sure what's going to happen to make me root for them, but other than that I'm really enjoying it. I am looking forward to continuing on with it, and I will do so once I'm back from the lake.
Hi, let's go.
Paddling away into the sunset, paddling away.
Marine clouds, just a perfect day to go outside and relax. That's your forecast. We'll be right back.
Yeah, sunny days, sunny days, sunny days. No clouds in the sky, about to get away. Feels like it's been a freaking decade. Sorry, don't call me cause I'm gonna be on break. Sunny day, make way. All the stress and doubt, yeah, not today. Feels like it's been a freaking decade. Sorry, don't call me cause I'm gonna be on break. Got the Tropicana, fresh cut sushi on a platter. Ready, honey, it don't matter shots. Till I drop, gonna be 24/7, golden hour like a boss. And they say, yo, guess you got a 2 o'clock appointment for a champagne shot, whoa, yeah. I'm busy trying to take it higher, got no time for never, only spending cheddar. Wish I could do this forever, chilling with the hottest company. They all wanna welcome me.
I have now made it 75% of the way through Quicksilver, and I'm really happy to say that I am actually starting to enjoy it a whole lot more. I don't know why the first half of this book was so difficult for me to get through. I'm not sure if I'm in a bit of a slump after all of the reading that I did in July, but that might actually be the case because I haven't really been picking up fantasy books lately. I've been picking up mystery thrillers and I've been flying through them, so I think it's just the change of pace and of course the density that comes with fantasies. And I know that this is a fantasy romance, so sometimes it can be a little less heavy. However, I do feel like it's just the fantasy genre in particular right now that I am struggling with. As I've said though, I am really enjoying this book. The character dynamics and relationships are definitely moving forward in a way that I do enjoy. I know I said that I hated Fisher earlier. That's not necessarily true now. Again, we don't really know why he has been the way that he's been throughout the first half of this book, but it is starting to make a bit more sense and we are starting to see a different side of him. Not that that excuses his behaviour in the start of this book at all, but I will say now that Ceres is kind of peeling back his layers, I am really interested to see where this character goes. Lawrence and Carrion are some new favourite characters of mine. I absolutely love them and their dynamic. I love Carrion in particular because he's just that person that says the wrong thing every single time. He definitely reminds me of Pippin from The Lord of the Rings. If you've seen the films or read the books, you'll know what I mean, but essentially he just manages to make every situation so much worse and he doesn't know when to shut up, but the humour is brilliant. I think he balances out the seriousness of Fisher very well, and it's also really nice to just see a healthy friendship dynamic. There is some history there which I won't go into, but they've both managed to kind of move past that, and seeing them where they're at now is just really great. They're very casual, they're friends, and they are looking out for each other, which is lovely. And yeah, I'm just hoping that everyone essentially ends up fine because I'm scared, I'm not gonna lie. Not quite sure where this book is going, but yeah, definitely fearful for the characters. But I love the found family trope. I love the reluctant hero trope as well that we have in here. And of course there's a bit of enemies to lovers. So all in all, I'm definitely enjoying it a whole lot more now. I am about to head off to the gym now though, so I do need to get changed. I'm planning to be there by 6 and it's currently 1:45, so I really need to get a move on. But I wanted to update you guys now, just whilst everything's fresh in my mind. I am going to try and finish this book off tonight. I feel like the pacing has definitely improved in the latter half and I am finding myself wanting to carry on reading, which wasn't the case with the beginning of the book. So once I've been to the gym, I'm going to come home, have a shower, have some tea and hopefully smash out the ending of this book. So that is the plan for tonight. Like I said, I better head off now, otherwise I'm going to be very late. So I will chat to you guys in a bit once I have finished this book. I'm happy to say that I have now finished Quicksilver, and I will say that the ending did save it for me. Whilst I did struggle with the first 50 to 60% of this book, I feel like there was a turning point after that that made sense, and I really did get behind the characters and I did want to know what was going on with them and how everything was going to get resolved by the end of the book. Whilst it's not my favourite fantasy romance ever, and whilst it does have a few issues, mainly in terms of the pacing and the character development at the start of the book, I have ended up giving it a 4-star. Now it is on the lower end of a 4-star because of the problems that I had with it at the beginning. You guys know that I hated Fisher. I really didn't like him at all, and by the end I can see why the author decided to start off the book with him the way he is. I just feel like he could have come across a little bit differently. He didn't have to be as harsh as he was. He was really horrible actually, and the way that he tricked our main character into a blood oath and started ordering her around did not sit right with me at all. We see though as the book goes on that he comes to care about our main character as a person, and so he doesn't actually then force her to do anything against his will. So I did like that development. I didn't love it at the beginning, as I said, but the way that it was handled moving forward was done really well. Sayrus definitely isn't the most lovable character. I feel like she's definitely hard to like at some points, and again the fact that she falls in love with this female that is treating her like shit isn't the best judgment in my opinion. Of course the circumstances are not favourable to her in terms of the long run, however yeah, it just wasn't really realistic, and of course it's not going to be because it's a fantasy setting. That's why I'm not being too harsh with my rating. It's just I feel like it would take a bit longer for someone to react to a horrible person, and yeah, Sayrus just fell head over heels very quickly. So those were my only real gripes. Overall the characters were great. I really enjoyed the side characters actually, maybe even more than our main characters. I feel like they are really interesting. We had some developments and some plot twists which I didn't actually see coming, but they did make sense, and now looking back I'm like, oh okay, that's been in the works since the beginning and this is why. And yeah, that really pleasantly surprised me. I mentioned earlier as well that I love Onyx. That of course remains to be true. He is the cutest thing and I love seeing his personality come through as well. I'm not sure where book 2 is gonna go. The way that book 1 ended was a bit crazy and the reveals and what occurred was very intense. I'm definitely intrigued enough to carry on with this series. Hopefully now that we have an established world as well, that the pacing will be a lot better in the second book. I believe it's coming out next month actually. I'll have to check. Give me a second. I can't actually see it anywhere. I'm gonna go on the author's Instagram to see if they've posted about it. Okay, at the minute I can't see anything. There's just a lot of promo for Quicksilver because that's only just been released. So if you guys know, please do leave it in the comments below. I feel like I've heard that the second book is out soon, but I may be completely wrong. Either way, I will be reading it. I'm definitely in on the hype, but it's not my favourite ever book that I've read so far. I'm definitely intrigued enough to carry on, as I've mentioned. The ending left me shocked, but not that I knew it was coming. I knew something was going to happen, and when it did happen I knew the outcome, but I don't know how that outcome is going to affect the plot moving forward and what it's going to mean for our characters and the overall political element and development of the war, I guess, that is currently occurring in this land. I am going to stop rambling here though because I feel like this video has been a long one. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing my very strange journey reading this book. I feel like I did a complete 180, so whilst that may be a bit jarring to you, it does make sense in my mind. It really is a different book for the second half than it was in the first, and I feel like because you are spending so much more time with different characters in the latter half, you do connect to them a lot more and you see them placed in different situations that bring out their personality, whilst you don't see that at the beginning of the book because the tensions are very high, things are happening very quickly, and the characters don't really have time to process things. They're just set on staying alive. So it's definitely an investment, but I personally think that it is worth it. So if it does sound like something that is interesting to you, I would recommend. It's not as hyped for me as it has been for other people, unfortunately, but I'm very excited to continue on, and I will let you guys know my thoughts on the rest of the books in the series once they do start coming out. If you have made it this far through into the video and would like to let me know that you're still here, please go ahead and leave me a butterfly emoji down in the comments. The cover of Quicksilver has 2 butterflies on there, and it really draws your eye to the cover because they are so colourful. I know I say it all the time, but seeing you guys comment the emoji of the video truly does mean the world to me. It blows me away that you guys watch these all the way through. So if you are still here but don't have anything in particular that you would like to say, please go ahead and comment that now. As well as that, please don't forget to click the like button if you like this video and the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content from me. But that is it for me today, guys. Thank you once again for watching, and I will see you soon in my next video. Goodbye!